What's up, everybody? It's Big Red, and it's been a while since I've done like an actual full-length video like this. I was doing, I wouldn't say a podcast because I didn't do it live. I was just doing full-length videos probably a few years ago, 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago at this point, right? And I was doing all NBA content, stuff like that, and I wanted to bring it back. So I thought I'd try. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this every day, but I want to at least try and do this most days of the week. So we'll kind of see how good I end up because my schedule's a little bit everywhere at all points of the week. So it's a little different every week, but for the most part, it's a pretty ironed out schedule. But I only have free evenings here and there. But I'm going to try to squeeze the same because I'll try and aim, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes per episode, per video that I do, whatever I want to end up calling this. But so let's just start going over stuff that happened in the NBA currently. So today is, so I don't have my glasses on. There's bad glare every time that I look at the lights, and I hate it. So I'm just not going to even use my glasses with this. So if you see me do, it's because I can't see. So I got to actually squint my eyes and actually look at the screens that I have in front of me. So today is April 1st, 2025. So let's go over the games from yesterday that took place. I know that the Lakers beat the Rockets like 106-94, 104-94. It was something along those lines. 104-98, the Lakers won. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Dallas Mavericks by 113-109. Thunder whooped the Bulls 145-117. Celtics beat the Grizzlies 117-103. The Hornets beat the Jazz 110-106. The Pacers beat the Kings 111-109, close game there. Clippers beat the Magic 96-87, and the Heat whooped the Wizards 120-94. So that's all the stuff that happened yesterday. Currently, I actually didn't even check to see who's playing currently because I just went straight to here. So right now, every team's got about 7 or 8 games left in the until playoffs start. I think Cleveland has about 7 games left. I think most teams are about at that 75 game mark right now. So if the playoffs were to start today, obviously we don't know who the 7th and 8th seeds are right now because of the play-in. And again, the play-in's got to play a few different games. So again, we won't really know that, but we do know as far as the Western Conference is concerned, the Nuggets will face the Warriors, 3rd seed versus the 6th seed, and the Lakers will face the Grizzlies. So those are the only two, as far as for the Western Conference, the only two matchups we can predict right now. So Lakers versus Grizzlies. You know what's crazy about this, right? Is that I remember a tweet back in, so if LeBron's 40 at this point, so 8 years ago, right? So what is that, 2017? I remember a tweet that came out right in 2017, 2016, around that time period that said, LeBron's 32 and we ain't going to be dealing with this for too much longer. And it's kind of crazy that even now, even at 40, I'm still looking at the Lakers team with LeBron James, and I'm thinking, that's tough to beat because now you got Luka, you got a secondary playmaker, main playmaker, I guess, at this point, because LeBron's been playing a lot off ball, but they kind of go back and forth because the other night, I know, or just last night with the versus the Rockets, I know Luka had 9 assists, and I think LeBron chipped in with 6 or 7 too, or I might have been thinking of the that Bulls game from the other night. I can't remember now, but they are very similar in their assist production. So really, honestly, at any point in time, either one of them can. That's just what makes them so dangerous, though. You can't double them. If you double them, they know how to make the correct pass. So, and because of their high IQ, both of them too, Luka, even at this age, right? Again, that's part of the reason why he makes you think of LeBron at that age, right? It's just as far as the passing ability and the IQ is that they're so smart that in a 7-game series, it's hard to bet against them. It's hard to bet against smart players, right? Who, even if they lose a game or two, they know, okay, they can start adjusting. They start saying, okay, these are the matchups that I want. These are the matchups, I want to get my teammates, in these locations here because this is where they're playing well at, right? It is hard to beat smart players. And I'm not saying that the Grizzlies don't have smart players. Ja's a smart player. JJJ is a great player. Baines is a great is a great piece for them. But it's just like, you know that feeling you get where it's just like you don't know how to describe it, but you just know that this team can't compete. And I'm not saying they can't, like, it's not going to be a sweep, right? I'm not predicting 4-0 sweep by the Lakers, but it's just like, but in a 7-game series, even if it does go 7, I still got Lakers, but I'd probably say Lakers in 6. That'd probably be where I put them at. But Nuggets and Warriors, see, this is interesting, right? Because while I think initially, I honestly want to think that Denver would whoop. Whoop might be going a little too overboard, but I felt the Nuggets would win against the Warriors. Now the Warriors they've done some good, and they've kind of lost a couple games here in the past few weeks after they've gotten Jimmy Butler, right? That it seems like it could go either way, right? Like you don't know what you're going to get from Jimmy Butler. The game against the Miami Heat that the Warriors played, right, where Jimmy Butler only scored 12 points, or he only shot the ball like 4, or he made 4 shots but only shot it like 10 times or 8 times or something like that. Just not a whole lot, right? Like you would like to know, and I know that it's the Jimmy Butler of the regular season, right? But like you would like to see him take something personally during the regular season, and if it wasn't going to be against Miami, then you at least hope that, I don't know. We haven't seen Jimmy Butler in like a souped up secondary position, right? Like Miami, he was the guy. Philly, he was kind of that second option, but they had Tobias Harris at the time, and he was a good scorer, and again, hindsight being what it is, right? At the time, Tobias Harris was a good piece. JJ Redick was on that team. Ben Simmons, right? Like you had pieces. So Jimmy Butler at best might have been like kind of like your third option, right? Because it was kind of because I think people need to remember that like one of those years, and I think it was the year with Jimmy Butler, right? Is that JJ Redick averaged like 17 points a game on one of those Philly teams. I can't remember if it was with Philly. I mean, if it was with Jimmy Butler on that team, but they had a really good team. So, but Jimmy Butler was probably your third option, kind of going back and forth between second and third with Ben Simmons. But we haven't really seen this version of Jimmy, and even with the Timberwolves, right? He was still kind of the third option because, it was Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins' team. And because that would have been the trade that sent Zach LaVine. Yeah, that was the trade that sent Zach LaVine to the Bulls and Jimmy Butler to Minnesota. Okay. So at best Jimmy Butler was your third option because again, that team would have went through Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. So with all that being said, my whole little tangent is that I don't know what kind of version of Jimmy Butler we're really going to get. And if we can get something close to Miami, then honestly, the Warriors could be a dark horse in the playoffs, but until that's kind of shown, I want to go with Nuggets. And even the Nuggets kind of don't like strike a whole lot of fear, even though Jokic himself should strike fear into most people's hearts just because he plays so nonchalant. And I mean, he's a walking 30, 10, 10. Like realistically, I don't know what he's averaging right now. Like, let me actually find that real quick. But Jokic being who he is, right? Like he can win you a series, and as long as the guy MPJ, Aaron Gordon, those guys show up, Jamal Murray, then he's the Nuggets obviously are going to be fine. Basketball Reference. Sorry, I'm still looking this up. I'm trying to find Nikola Jokic. So his season averages right now 29.3 points per game, 12.8 rebounds, and 10.2 assists. So literally, he is a walking 30, 10, and 10. 30, 12, and 10, actually. Yeah, no, as long as everybody else, they hit their shots and they do their thing, I think Denver is going to win against the Warriors. Excuse me. Again, with the exception of, we'll just see what kind of version of Jimmy Butler we're going to get. And I want to talk about the East first before I get into MVP, but I'm going to keep those numbers up. But my goodness, they really did leave Jokic all the room in the world to be able to win MVP again. Because how are you going to go from, like, right, what was his last MVP? What was the last time he won MVP? I can just go down, right? Last time he won MVP was last season? Did he just win it last season? No. Yeah. Oh my gosh, he did win it over Shea. When did Embiid win it? Was that 2022, 2023? Okay. No, that was the year Embiid won it. Okay. So last year, I'm sorry. Let's talk about the East real quick before I get into this thing, because or else I'm going to just start going off on another tangent. The East, again, don't know who the who two of the matchups are going to be, but for sure, as far as we can predict, again, these are if the playoffs were to start right now. Pacers versus the Pistons and Knicks versus the Bucks. Pacers versus Pistons, you know what? Maybe it's recency bias, but I do think the Pistons can win that series. There's just nobody. Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, oh man, his name escaped me. I don't even know. I can't even believe. Yeah, no, his name on the Pacers totally escaped me. I can't think of who. I have his name right in my head, but it's just I can't say it for some reason. But I do think the Pistons can win that series. Can they win a second round series? I don't know about that. But I do think that based on how the Pistons have been playing recently, I think they can make a surprise. If the Pacers won, would I be surprised? No, because again, these are two teams I don't think this is gonna be a series that I don't think a whole lot of NBA fans are really gonna watch, because again, it's Indiana versus Detroit, and like obviously not a whole lot of people except for Indiana fans are really gonna ever tune into Indiana. And then Detroit's such a weird city, right? Like you would think it would be bigger, like especially talked about more, because I mean this is the bad boy Pistons team, right? You know, or also obviously not right now, but this is that franchise, right? So you would think they'd be regarded as higher, but like especially like ever since because I'm 28, so like ever since I've been young for the most part, with the exception of that '04 championship, I'd say after '06 or '07, I mean, they've essentially been a poverty franchise where like not much has ever happened there. And they've just always been, you know, like one of them laughing. So you know how Philly was with like Nerlens Noel and stuff like that, where like they were just always only winning like 12 or 10, 11, 12 games a season for like 3 seasons straight. That's kind of how Detroit's always been in my, not to me, but like in my view, that's how Detroit's always been viewed, like by others. Like it just hasn't ever been taken seriously. But I think Pistons would win the series. Bucks versus Celtics. Who did I say that? Oh no. Knicks versus Bucks. My fault. Celtics are going to play whoever's in the 7th seed, right? And I think Celtics and Cavs are going to win their matchups, whoever it is. And then same thing in the West. I think whoever the Thunder play, Thunder are going to win. And Rockets for the most part, yeah, I think they'll be fine. They are a little young, but I think they could win the first round matchup though. But again, Knicks versus Bucks. Because of Dame's absence now, I think I'm going to give that to the Knicks. I really liked the Knicks at the beginning of the season. They are a little shaky against really good teams, so that kind of scares me. But with it only being Giannis now, and obviously he has his guys around him. He's got Brooke, he got Bobby, he got he got his other guys, but I think I'm going to take the Knicks, right? Like without Dame, without that real true like other guy that you're really like fearing for, kind of tough. Kyle Kuzma, forgot that he got traded again. But yeah, I think I'm going to choose the Knicks against in that matchup. I don't think there's anything too exciting for the first round. In the East, I think for the most part, I think the second round is going to be where the East is a little bit more exciting. I think the West in the first round is going to be exciting. They got a couple good matchups. I think whoever the Thunder are going to play, I think that's going to be fun. Nuggets and Warriors are going to be fun. But, I mean, whoever the Celtics are going to play, because they would probably end up playing, what, probably, that's tough. Any four of those teams really could get in. Paolo's back, Hawks. I don't know. It could go either way for any four of those teams, but let's go ahead and get into MVP because I was kind of hinting about that earlier. Jokic is averaging 29, almost 13, right? It was 12.8 rebounds or 12.2. He's averaging 12.8 rate, so he's almost averaging 13 rebounds doing this. I don't even know what to say. Like, hold on, because I'm gonna bring up Shea real quick. Oh, basketball reference. Because Shea's been the other one, and and I can't watch a basketball related video, whether that be on YouTube, TikTok, but there's at least one comment. Shea's probably shooting free throws somewhere, like, and it's just getting annoying, right? Like, and I think that's kind of the other thing about basketball fans, right? It's like basketball fans aren't happy no matter what. So this season, Shea's averaging 32.8 points per game, five rebounds exactly, and 6.4 assists. Now, for obviously normal seasons, yeah, Shea would win MVP, right? First seed, and those numbers are MVP numbers. Like, let's just get that out of the way, right? But then when you got somebody who's averaging a triple double, right, and how many games separate? And there's people who argue that like winning should not really determine who's MVP. But so the Thunder have 63 wins, and where the Nuggets have 47 wins. So what is that? 16 games? That's a 16 game difference. God damn, that's crazy. Like, I don't know how you reason that, right? Like, and that's been one of my whole arguments with basketball talk or basketball talking, analysts, whatever you want to call this, right? Debates, is that there's no one clear, concise way to, view a lot of these things, right? Is that Shea's putting up MVP numbers. Jokic is the first big man in the modern era, last 60 years, to put up a triple double. Because I don't think Wilt might have done it, and Bill Russell might have done stuff like that, but like they didn't track certain stats back then, so I don't know for sure if they did. But Jokic is the first big man to average a triple double, and it's not like his team's the 10th seed, right? Like he is third. It's just that the first seed the first seed in the West is so far out that I don't know what you do about that. But then it begs the question: why don't we ever talk about my chair just making all these stupid noises all the time? But then it brings up, why don't we talk about who's in the East, right? Like the Cavs have been for top team in the whole league for who knows how long. I think the entire season for the most part. So the Thunder did overtake them, but the Cavs had that real nice. I guess that's another good reason why you're not going to bring up Donovan Mitchell or anything like that. And Donovan Mitchell's never really put up anything like crazy impressive anyway. He's always been in that 23 to 25 point per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, stuff like that. Like, not bad. Like, he's a great player, but it's just his regular season stats have never been something that like you oogle at or anything like that. So like Donovan Mitchell right now, 24 points a game exactly, 4.5 rebounds, 4.9 assists. So like he's always in that 23 to 25, 5 and 5. So his career, 24.7, 4.3 rebounds, 4.7 assists. That's just what he is, which is not bad. It's just if you're going to try and win MVP, you got to do something. You got to average that 28, 29, 30 at least. Then as a guard, something's got to be up. If your rebounds are going to be at like 8 or 9, cool. You you're a really great rebounder for a guard, or your assists got to be at the 7, 8, or 9, right? Like something's got to be up there. And I think that's the only thing that's probably hurting Shea right now is that like maybe if his assists, so he's averaging just under 33 points a game, 32.8. If he was averaging, and he's averaging 6.4 assists, if he was averaging like 8.4 assists or like 9.4, like something where like you can argue it's close to a double or something like that, I think he would probably get a little bit more hype. But then I think again, people are so focused on the free throws, right, that it's almost like that brings him down. And I think, how many free throws does he even average a game? Okay, let's just look.